Hello, I'm Femi OK and you're in the stream. Today, we look at the condom ad that broke taboos in Pakistan and was promptly pulled off the air. How does one of the world's most populous countries deal with family planning now? Our digital producer Malika Bilal is here looking out for your live feedback. This is an interesting story because very sensitive, very controversial in Pakistan, but our audience in other parts of the world, they're looking on with interest and maybe not quite understanding the taboos that we're talking about.
Exactly, and so to help them, help all of us, we have our finger on the pulse of Pakistani society. They're tweeting in and they're saying, in the aftermath of the ad that we'll see during the main show, what is it that we can do to discuss this issue, but without interfering with religious and cultural sensitivities? So Freedom on Facebook writes in, education on this issue is very important, but it's never easy to reprogram people's mentalities that were programmed by their cultural beliefs. So for those of you at home, we want to know what you think. Join the conversation, use hashtag AJStream.
And of course, Twitter isn't the only way that you can stay in touch with us. Have you liked us yet on Facebook? I have my Facebook page right here, or the stream's Facebook page. Be sure to do that. And also, as well as just liking us here and joining 114,000 other people, you can follow stories that we're working on and also comment on the stories there, and perhaps also put in an idea from your part of the world for a story that could be a potential future program.
Hi, my name is Anton. I live in Russia and I'm a journalist and I'm in the stream.
In Pakistan, family planning is filled with religious overtones. A recent Josh condom ad broke a number of taboos, including the idea of limiting family size and that sex could be just for pleasure rather than making babies. Health workers say that they already face an uphill battle and claim that the ad will be disruptive to their work, while supporters of its message say it's time for Pakistan to face reality when it comes to sex and contraception. I know now that you are dying to see the ad, so here it is.
सुपरमॉडल मतीरा अम्मा को सलाम करो खाइए ना सुनिए जी मॉडल से शादी की है देखना क्या करेगी थोड़ी सी बर्फ मिलेगी ठंडा बनाना है उनके लिए ठंडा सब कैसे जिंदगी में जोश लाओ
Imported Josh condoms, classic और strawberry के बाद अब max पे.
So let me put that ad in some kind of context. According to the UN, Pakistan's population is expected to double from 180 million to almost 300 million in the next 20 years. 60% of the population lives on less than $2 a day, and maternal death rates are high. There's no government health ministry, and spending on family planning initiative accounts for less than 1% of the country's GDP. So how does the world's sixth most populous country tackle family planning? Joining us now from Karachi is Mathira Mohammed, a Pakistani actress and model. She also starred in the now banned condom commercial. Also in Karachi, we have Juan Enrique Garcia. He is a director at DKT International, the company behind the Josh condom ad. From Manchester, Dr. Khalid Zahir is an Islamic scholar. And in Islamabad on Skype, we have Dr. Rakshinda Parveen, a gender reproductive health practitioner and founder of the Pakistan Preventative Health Network. It's great to have all of you in the stream. I want to start off with Khalid. When you first saw that condom ad, the one that was pulled off the air very shortly afterwards, what did you think?
Well, I tell you, most people would categorize me as not somebody who's an extremist or a radicalist. But honest to God, I thought that this ad should not be shown to the Pakistani public. We have our own value system, which is substantially different from the Western system. We have our own ways of introducing reforms, which have to be gradual, which have to base on education. But we cannot allow an ad which is going to break the value system that we are actually very strongly adhered to at the moment. What it is going to do is that quite apart from addressing the people who are its immediate targets, that is the married couple, young married couple, it is also going to go to the people who are completely irrelevant to this information, which is young people who are not married And be absolutely sure that in Pakistan, you talk about extramarital sex. Unlike in the West, it really is something very serious from a religious point of view, from a moral, cultural point of view. So if you're talking about anything which is which threatens to enhance its frequency, it really is going to be looked down upon. And I'm not surprised that it was removed.
Right, you've given us some really great context for understand Pakistan a little bit better. Let me bring in the person who's described in that ad as a supermodel, Mathira. Welcome to the stream, Mathira. Why did you do the ad?
I think so. Nothing was bad in this ad, and we did not deliver a very vulgar message. Condom ads around the whole world, there are different kind of condom ads, and I did this because I thought it was a very positive step. In the end of the day, someone has to step up and break the boundary. A lot of the doctor right now in Washington, he just said that people will misuse it, but yes, all of this is happening in Pakistan. It's happening under the blanket, but it is happening. So why can't you just look at something in a positive way? Everything has negative things, but there are also positive things. So why is everyone just targeting the negative stuff? Like, I really don't know.
So the Dr. Khalid is in Manchester in the UK, and I'm looking at that ad. I used to work in Manchester. I'm looking at that ad, and I don't see anything that's shocking or taboo. So tell us, Mathira, what are the taboo subjects in that ad for Pakistan?
Well, in this ad, they're not showing anything beyond it. They're showing a married couple, and they're showing a very happy married couple. And of course, if you use protection, you can be very happily married, because of course being intimate with your husband is not a sin. So I think so people should use protection, and family planning is very much necessary. It's like when you are intimate with your husband, you should at least have a satisfaction that when you want a child, you should plan up a child instead of having it in an accident, and when you can't afford it, and then going for an abortion, or just having kids and having 10-12 kids and keeping them as street kids. So I think so we did a very positive thing. I don't know why people have an issue with it.
Okay.
But in the end of the day, even in Pakistan, 40% are against me, but 50% are with me. That's what I believe.
Well, Femi, you asked what was taboo about the ad. Some of our Pakistani community members weighed in. Rana Osman on Twitter says, an ad like this doesn't have a place in our society. It was softcore porn, she calls it. Hafsa says it was outright vulgar and crude, and it isn't much to expect such ads to take cultural sensitivities and sensibilities into account. So Rakshinda, I want to bring you in here with this question from Deanna. She asks, is the promotion of family planning the reason it was banned, or is it the fact that such innuendo is on TV?
There is no ban on family planning promotion in Pakistan. There is no ban, but the message is important and the way it is communicated. So I am somebody who is pro-condom and pro-contraceptive advertisement, but there is a bit, caution here that where are you doing it? You are doing it on the television. Television is the executive club of the masses. The majority of Pakistanis, they are illiterate. Yes, Mathira, I agree with you. We are hypocrites, and so is rest of the world. And I partially agree.
Yes, we are.
We are. Please let me complete. I did not interrupt you, but I partially agree with Dr. Khalid, and I am not in agreement whatever he said. In entirety. This message, I watched it again and again, and what I noticed that there is a difference between being lewd and being liberal. The message first, the commercial, or it doesn't meet the broadcasting standards. One. Secondly, it is not clear that what it's saying. And thirdly, as a woman and somebody who is a gender practitioner, it has lowered the position of the woman. You can win a beautiful woman just because you can make her happy. That's not a sin, I understand, but the way it is depicted, so that is very important. So again, I'm saying that Pakistan should keep on doing such ads, but it should be more creative, it should be more culturally appropriate. The
Okay.
rest is, besides the point, whether we are hypocrites or not, whether what is morality, what is the religious influence. By the way, there is an overemphasis on religion influencing family planning and contraceptives use in Pakistan.
Okay, so Rakshinda, you just listed 3 reasons why this ad didn't work
Yes.
for you. It was an ad fail.
There
Let me
is
bring in
some,
one.
unexpected load shedding here, and I
Sure.
just don't know what is happening. Otherwise, it was okay. No, I can't.
Okay.
The Skype is on, but the lights are gone. So
Okay, Rakshinda, we're going to come back to Rakshinda in a minute. We're going to sort out the Skype issues. But one, I'm sure you heard that critique there of the ad that you came up with for Pakistan to try and get people to use family planning, to use condoms. Did you fail spectacularly? It was pulled off the air within moments.
However, at the moment in YouTube has been played more than 600,000 times, and there is not YouTube in Pakistan. But let me put you in context why we do the things that we do and why are we taking this road. It is safer to keep family planning in the reproductive health, in the medicalized, sanitized, and respectable point. But we consider that it's more and better to use of a language making family planning more desirable, even fashionable, especially among the young people. And young people is 60% of the population of Pakistan is below 24 years old. So it's a very young population, and they are every time they are more sophisticated in terms of marketing. So the use of that imaginary and that aspirational qualities associated.
So one, I understand that it's a stylistic thing you're going for. You're going for the young population of Pakistan, but some of the reasons that Rakshinda brought up and that Halid brought up was that the ad is culturally insensitive, basically, if I could just sum up their critique of it.
At some point, it can be considered like that. We are within a kind of marketing called social marketing, where we promote the use of a product with the distinctive advantages. So we don't try to change the behavior through arguments. We are trying to change the behaviors more to the usage of that planning.
One, I feel we understand your point. We're struggling a little bit with the technology here, but Malika.
Well, earlier we heard some opposition to the ad from our online community. Now there's some in support of it. Yasser says, I saw the ad, which wasn't vulgar, tried to sell a delicate concept in a light-hearted way. Another tweet from the Godfather, he calls himself, the government has targeted the wrong segment of society when it comes to family planning. The poorest, who are the least literate, are not targeted. So Rakshinda, you've been doing this work on the ground for years now. What are the efforts? Are they government efforts? Are they grassroots local efforts to spread the word about family planning?
Pakistan has the oldest family planning program. So the government and the state of Pakistan is very much involved in family planning. Now there are different ways and means of gauging the commitment. Well, they are being supported by our international partners and the non-profit sector and the volunteers. So the effort is there. Well, I understand that the results are not matching with the efforts, or efforts are not matching with the magnitude of the problem. That's one side of the story. Now coming back to the health communication messages, I would again emphasize that one should be very clear that who is the target audience. So one has to be really, really very careful when you are showing something on the television. That's my point. I understand that if I am seeing it just as Rakshinda, I don't find it vulgar or obscene. It's just another ad for me, just another way of creative expression. I can evaluate it, good or bad, high or low, but nothing wrong. But when I think, oh, who would be watching it? Who would be getting what? So then I see it's useless. It was a useless message, useless commercial. Well, it was a commercial. It was, so whether if it was intended
you can't
to be an
say
infomercial.
that it's useless.
Yes. it's useless for the targeted audience, not for you, Mathira. You are one of my most favorite models. Why? Because you're so truthful, honest, and courageous. I am your fan. Okay, but I'm just talking about from family planning, communication point of view, that who is the target audience who is supposed to benefit from health communication messages in Pakistan. We have to understand this very, very clearly. The message has to be persuasive, not provoking.
If I may.
Well, according
Okay, yes, go ahead, Juan. Matia, hold on one second. Juan, go ahead.
We want to emphasize the quality and the cool factor of the product. So we're emphasizing more in the brands. The people currently in this era with the social media and with the internet believe more in brands. They don't believe so much more in the message of the government or in the messages that they instruct them what to do. They believe that their very well earned money, it's valid for something. So we believe that the promoting in the brands can increase the awareness.
Well, we're talking about the target audience here. Sadullah on Twitter says, giving such a spicy flavor to something this important allowed it to be criticized by Pakistan's conservative sensibilities. So, Mathira, Femi asked you a little bit earlier, why you did the ad, but this question goes to who is the target audience that you were trying to hit by appearing in the ad?
Well, the elite class is already using protection and they do not need to be educated because they are already educated. We are targeting the middle class. According to the house we showed, according to the guy we showed, it was the middle class and the lower class. A lot of people won't understand this, but yes, I do have a fan following, and my fan following is not the high class or the middle class, it's more of the lower class, because they see me as a girl who's doing everything what they dream to do. So if I am saying something, a lot of women, maybe 90% of women take me seriously, and I really mean it, because I have done some work and I've actually worked in many other ways, helping women out and solving their house issues. So I did this ad, and a lot of women that people don't know about, like my maid and that type of audience, understood what I was trying to say. Commercials are supposed to be glamorous, little bit glamorous. There are many commercials that happen that actually maybe a shampoo commercial sometimes does not look like a shampoo commercial. And plus someone also said that it looks like soft porn. It is totally not soft porn. There's nothing vulgar in it. It's just how you look at it. It's also on the mindset and how you are imagining it.
Okay.
So I did this and people got the message. It went controversial, and I think so I did my part. People got the message. That's all I wanted.
Mathira. Khalid, please jump in.
Yes. We do not need to invent the wheel anew. Pakistan was comprised of East Pakistan and West Pakistan some 40 plus years ago. And the population of East Pakistan was greater than the population of West Pakistan. 40 years plus on, their population is much less than ours. And you know what the magic trick was? They involved the imams of the masajid in a big way. And they went to the masses. And it was the religious appeal to the common man which did the trick. And what you now have in Bangladesh is a far lesser population. The control over population is far more effective. If you are going to give a message which is confused, if we are going to let the radicals get the possibility of telling masses that, look here, there is a war against our culture, there is a conspiracy against our religion, I tell you, this effort is going to be completely lost. So what we need to do is a well-concerted, consistent effort wherein we educate people. I tell you, the condoms are already there on the medical stores. People are using them. But the trouble is that the people who are the most vulnerable, the ones that we would want to target the most, are not the ones who are getting the message. And the kind of message that was attempted to be shown, I'm not doubting the intentions. I'm sure the intentions are good, but it really did not take into consideration the cultural background, the sensibilities of the population.
Khalid, may I ask you something? If you were going to make a condom ad, what would you put in the storyline? How would you make an ad?
honest to God, I'll give it a serious thought whether a condom ad should be given or not. But I'm really not an expert in advertising, but I'm telling you that it really is going to be a very important challenge for the advertisers, because it's not just that you look at from the supply side. You've got to look at from the demand side as well, and look at the people, the way they think, the way they change themselves. Change is an ongoing, gradual process. It cannot be imposed suddenly, and that is exactly what this ad was threatening to do.
All right, let's bring in the community. Guests, sit tight one moment. Malika wants to jump in just before we get to the end of this part.
asked a spicy question, Rakshinda. I'd like you to quickly give us your answer. We just heard a little solution on Twitter. How else do you create awareness about family planning? Dr. Uzma wants to know, Rakshinda, do you have a one-line way for the way forward?
Yeah, through communication and service delivery, that's very obvious, and political advocacy. There is no single solution. But again, we have to be culturally appropriate, and if you have asked me what to do, I would have told you. I mean, if I have to recreate this very ad again.
Okay, that's wonderful.
There is not a single solution.
Okay, Dr. Khalid, we're going to come back to you because we are fast approaching the end of this part of the program, but the conversation will continue in the post-show at stream.aljazeera.com. One thing I do want to reference was Dr. Khalid mentioning Bangladesh and what they did with their birth rate. Have a look at this chart I've got on my laptop. I've just got time to show you. Total fertility rate, births per woman. This is 1978. This is 2010. This is the world birth rate. So, just over 3 kids per woman. This is India's birth rate, which is just over 4 kids per woman. This is Bangladesh's birth rate, just over 6. And then topping that is Pakistan's birth rate, was almost heading to 7 kids per woman in 1978. And look what happens all the way back down to 2010. Every birth rate has dropped, including Pakistan's, but Pakistani women are still having over 3 kids each, which gives a population of 180 million. This conversation will continue in the post-show, but right now, here are some stories that Malika is also following.
We start in Australia, where a media frenzy over Saturday's election is reaching a fever pitch. But a new ad by progressive group Get Up is telling the press to calm down. They're calling out media mogul Rupert Murdoch. Get Up says outlets he owns, like this newspaper on my screen, have favored opposition candidate Tony Abbott. Have a look.
Murdoch has an agenda to get rid of our current PM. Fair enough. We all have an opinion. But political bias presented as news is, well, misleading crap. Don't let the crap decide your vote. Stand up for what you want. Tell Rupert we'll choose our own government.
But the ad hardly made it to Aussie airwaves. Get Up says Australia's major commercial networks either refused to run the ad or pulled it after a few days. The ad quickly went viral anyway, and many other news outlets covered the backlash. One Reddit user writes, "Personally, I'm not happy with either Labour or Liberal, but I'm most appalled with the media and its interference in this election." Well, for our next lead, debate over the U.S. National Security Agency has made it to Sweden, where U.S. President Barack Obama took some heat during a news conference there. One Twitter user summed up Obama's answers to Swedish press when asked about the spying controversy. But other Europeans are looking at the bright side of surveillance. A Dutch filmmaker called the U.S. agency asking for help retrieving a deleted email.
How can I help you? Yeah, I'm calling from Holland, from Amsterdam. Is this NSA?
Who hosts your email? That's probably who you would need to contact.
So you don't keep track of emails of people?
We're not going to be able to retrieve something that you deleted. That's not what we do. Yeah.
I see.
That's not what they do. The video got 100,000 views and a virtual round of applause. Megan tweets, "Sometimes you have to laugh in spite of your mounting fears." But Mark summed up many people's thoughts, including mine. After seeing the video, someone's on a watch list. Well, we're always on the lookout for more videos like these to cover, so tweet us your links at AJStream. Femi?
I love that. Hello, is that the NSA?
That took some guts.
We should get their telephone number. Thanks so much, Malika. On the next show, what are we doing? Well, we head to Romania, where there are plans to turn a small town into Europe's biggest gold mine. What's not to like about a mining project worth more than $19 billion? Quite a lot, apparently. More on that story tomorrow. Stay with us. The post show is next at stream.aljazeera.com. Until then, see you online. Thanks for watching. Hello there, this is the Stream Post Show. Today we're discussing family planning in Pakistan. Let's get right back to the conversation. During the break, the 20-second break, I said to Malika, we spent the entire program talking about a condom ad. Who knew there was so much material in there? Who knew? But what is really, really important, I really want our guests to help us get to this, is if we're talking about family planning in Pakistan, this ad, if nothing else, it got the conversation started. It made us talk about it, not just in Pakistan, but outside of Pakistan. Now let's do something very practical. Rakshinda, this is your territory. What do you think we should be doing in Pakistan?
I understand. We already started the discourse, not only the network with which I'm associated, that is Pakistan Reproductive Health Network, but a lot of sincere and senior activists and advocates, they have been doing it. So it's not a new conversation, yes, but the discourse has to be sustained, and it has to, always get the uninterrupted political commitment. So there is a larger debate, and I don't want to discuss politics in Pakistan right now, but it has to do a lot with the political system, the chaos and the governance. So family planning is the need, because our women are facing the unmet need, one of the highest unmet need, that they are aware, they are ready for observing contraception, but they could not access. And access is not only geographical or cultural, it is financial as well as political access. So I believe that men who are, whether we like or not, they are the social gatekeepers in Pakistan, as in most of the other societies of this whole world is basically patriarchal, not only Pakistan. So men have to be engaged. We have to tell them that, look, you know it, but please believe in it, that it takes two.
So Rakshinda, if I could just give you a little bit of a pushback. When we started the program, we were talking about the Pakistan's population being at 180 million. The UN are projecting in the next 20 years, it could be 300 million. So whatever is happening in this conversation about family planning, not enough is going on. How do you respond to that?
Not enough is going on. I mean, it is not a secret. It is very obvious, but there is a hope. The situation is serious, but we have a hope, because we have the largest cohort of young people, and we can turn it into a blessing. I mean, we are running as non-profits, as volunteers, as partners with the government and international aid and technical agencies programs for adolescent and youth in Pakistan. This may sound unbelievable, but we are accessing very difficult areas, and we are not doing it, very openly, because one has to be discreet, but we are doing it. So I am very confident that Pakistan will address this challenge, and don't look at numbers. I mean, I will like to share a Dutch recipe. That's the place where I have been trained. That if you are worried about population, then you have to show your concern about people. So address the needs and do not worry about the number.
Okay.
Khalid, I want to go to you, because we just heard Rakshinda talk about men having a role. It takes two. On Twitter, Shoaib says men do have a role. They want a certain number for children, and most usually want a boy. So what is the role that men can play in ensuring that family planning is something that takes a village?
Well, they can play a very important role in, of course, the decision-making process involving their wives, and telling the other in-laws of the wife that, look here, you kindly don't interfere, and we're going to take the decision on the basis of what we think is correct. But I think there is another thing that really can be done effectively, and it really would need legislation on the part of the parliament to make sure that each time a new couple gets married, there should be a training program, maybe for 1 day or 2 days or whatever. It should not just involve family planning, but a few other things that they need to learn as to how to operate as a married couple and how to deal with people. I'm sure that if we enhance the scope of the educational program that we conduct for the purpose of training people, young people, for how to go for their post-marriage life, a lot can be done about it. I can tell you that I've been a part of the programs wherein we address the religious scholars, the religious leaders about how to go about family planning and its propagation. And it's not very popular amongst the religious leaders. And therefore, that's a huge challenge that needs to be confronted. Anything that threatens to make the whole program look even more unacceptable would go against the very idea of family planning. So what I'm saying is, be cautious in your approach and educate people. And I'm sure that there's a lot of scope possible, but I would emphasize that couples should be trained at the very beginning.
I want to jump in. Not only couples, yes, I am all for pre-marriage counseling as it is happening in many other Islamic countries. But remember that the marriages can be delayed, and they are being delayed in Pakistan because various other reasons, because of higher unemployment rate or judiciary systems, and there are a lot of other cultural reasons. But sexuality cannot be delayed, and we have to admit that our people, whether young or old, they are having this, whether it is acceptable on your TV or not, this thing even outside the marriage. So awareness, irrespective of the marital status, is important. I know it would be hard to admit, but this is the reality.
So Rakshinda, would you be able to say this on Pakistan television, or would everybody be so shocked that you actually said that out loud?
No, I have been saying it. I mean, I produced a program for Pakistan television, which is, of course, state-owned. Way back in 1999, we have said it. You know, you can say it without being banned if you remain culturally appropriate. And as you know, you are the communication expert. The credibility of source is also very important, and there should be a call for action. So what I am saying was nothing against any religion, any code of ethics, or neither it was against any government. And we are only addressing, you know, one segment. I know that's in the majority, that is a Muslim population. In Pakistan, we have other people as well, and this is very important to identify and accept other and try to address their needs as well.
Yes, I mean, that's a good point, but to be honest, Pakistan is 97% Muslim in terms of faith and only 3% other faiths. Let me just play for our audience a public service announcement. It's a family planning announcement made by the government of Pakistan. You can kind of see the difference between that and the one that was made by DTK. Have a look.
तो चलें हम खुद जाकर पता कर लेते हैं.
चलें.
आइए. माशाल्लाह हमारा बच्चा बड़ा हो रहा है.
अब हमें वक्फा करना है.
क्या वक्फे के बाद दूसरा बच्चा हो सकता है? बिल्कुल. इस तरह सेहत को नुकसान तो नहीं होगा?
बिल्कुल नहीं. मैं आपसे तफसील से बात करके आपके लिए महफूज तरीके समझाऊंगी, फिर आप दोनों फैसला कर लें. देर न कीजिए, फैसला कीजिए.
So I should have said DKT. One, you're the director of the international organization in Pakistan for DKT.
You can feel the feel the difference.
Absolutely.
Instead to deliver a positive message, instead to deliver a positive incentive to be attracted to the idea of family planning, you paint a world chaotic and very sad. So it's important part to deliver positive messages. Either and as a DKT, we have 3 or 4 different programs in Pakistan. It's not only just condoms. We go to rural Sindh, or we are going to rural Punjab in the small towns, and we train community midwives, and we train lady health workers, and we make social mobilization. But that is a different program, a different solution. It's multifactorial solution. In the massive media, we are trying to make this cool, fun, attractive, so that people can actually feel that they need the family planning, that they need to know about that, and they can ask to the doctor, to the lady health worker, to the community midwife about what is family planning. So And at least at this moment, we are happy that we have opened the dialogue. A lot of organizations have worked in the market for the last 10 or 15 years with the bases, like Population Council or HANS or RACNUMA. But at least now we have made a noise. Also, we can make that we are glad that at least we can talk about this.
All right, that's great. You mentioned cool, fun, attractive. Mathira, you're in the house. Hello there. I just wanted to ask you about this condom ad.
Yes.
Pakistan obviously wasn't ready for it this July. When do you think that ad could play on TV and nobody would say anything at all? Are we talking 5 years, 10 years? When do you think nobody would actually say a word?
Well, to be honest, it's just after 2 years we're going to change, because our film industry is also coming up and the media is going to the next level. So I think I will be doing one more ad, and that ad will also be good, and I hope people won't have problems with that ad.
So thank you very much to Mathira, to Juan, to Rakshinda, and also to Khalid for being part of our conversation today, and the community as well.
Of course.
Do they fall one way or the other?
Well, it's interesting. You started out the conversation asking, what does our non-Pakistani community think of this ad, think of this conversation? We got a tweet from one of those members, the non-Pakistani members. Sabata says, evidently, Pakistan is a conservative society. This controversy, quote unquote, can only help the debate and soften attitudes.
So, I hope we helped the debate.
I hope we did.
Maybe soften some attitudes. So, on the next show, what should we do? Well, we're going to head to Romania, where there are plans to turn a small town into Europe's biggest gold mine. So, what's not to like about a mining project worth more than $19 billion? Quite a lot, apparently. More on that story tomorrow. Until then, you know where we will be, always online at stream.aljazeera.com. Thanks for watching. Take care.